Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shout. Actually, no, I'm giving you a commentary between one of the games that I recently played. I believe it was yesterday. Now, this is going to be on Twilight Fortress, and the first thing you're going to notice is I'm spawning as a Protoss player. Secondly, I do not know who my partner is. One of the reasons why I'm casting this game is I just got a new microphone today, so I'm also trying to test the audio levels and make sure everything works out well, make sure that everything sounds right when I do my first time encoding, and I do not want to spoil any real games. Now, one of the problems with the random 2v2 setup in the new BattleNet is that in random 2v2, you can play against people who do know each other. So our opponents are going to be Junt and Junt Face. So yeah, we know for a fact that they are going to be partners and they already do know each other. I am trying Protoss. I was playing random just so I could get a better feel of all the races and figure out what to really do in 1v1 matchups a little bit more. I guess random 2v2 is my idea of just kick back, relax, and have some fun. Now, first things first, you're going to see this probe now move out across the field, and you always want to do some decent scouting, especially on Twilight Fortress. Twilight Fortress is one of those maps where you can quickly find out what your opponent's doing, as you know where they're spawning, and it's also a relatively short distance walking between the two. First thing I'm going to notice is that there is no gas being laid down quite yet by Junt Face. I also come over here and I don't see any gas being laid down by Junt. So I look around here, I'm like, okay, there is no gas. This is most likely going to be some sort of really heavy rush. And if you come back over here, Junt Face does in fact have a double gateway. Now this is the first time I'm really playing Protoss in the Wings of Liberty. I played Protoss in the beta, so I do have some idea. And if you take a look over here, we do see double racks now going down. So it is going to be a Zealot and Marine rush. My partner, Doc Nabs, does spawn as a Zerg player, is getting a spawning pool, and should be training up a Queen in just a moment. But yeah, it should really be one of these interesting games that I recently played and I really like. You can already see Junt Face now chrono boosting one Zealot. Back over here, I come back and I in fact see that there is double gateways, and I'm going, oh, this is not good. So I let my partner know that we are going to be facing a double gateway with no gas, no cybernetics core. It is going to be a very heavy rush indeed. I'm pretty sure I talked to my opponent there about it, but apparently it doesn't capture the conversation. So over here, I do have the assimilator, so I am trying to get additional gas, and I throw down a gateway as well. So I'm getting a gateway and the cybernetics core, hoping that the warp gate will help me. Yeah, Protoss 2 gates without gas, expect a rush. And now it's cybernetics core and double gateway. So back over here, we do see Doc Nabs. Doc Nabs now training that Queen, not getting that metabolic boost just quite yet. Back over here, I'm really concerned about this front door. I want to make sure that my opponents are not able to somehow circumvent or circumnavigate around these gateways. I want him to try to come in through this rather smaller choke point, and then I will be throwing down a pylon here and a pylon here, just expecting the rush. We do see, taking a look at the production tab, Marines now being trained, and pylons being thrown down, and now a lot of Zealots. Taking a look at this army, already 5 Zealots very early in this game. Income-wise, you can see that I'm mining around 700, everyone else mining around 500, 600. Doc Nabs asked me if I'm in Diamond. I tell him that I'm not in Diamond for 2v2. And then he asked me if I am Crota the Shoutcaster. So shout out to you, Doc Nabs. I am shoutcasting this replay. I hope you enjoy it. I thought it was a fun game. Now already you see this very early army moving out. This army of Marines and Zealots, very strong army, already on the move. So this really strong army, and you can take a look at our army. All I have is 2 Zealots. I am trying to get 1 sentry, so and I'm trying to get even more sentries out, but things are just not working out for me. I'm trying to also get that warp gate research so I can continue to produce more and more units. There are some Zerglings over here, however no creep tumors were ever laid down, so these spine crawlers will not be able to get in position. Over here he also see that Doc Nabs is also getting a hatchery, and now here, and in comes this fight. So Marines now fighting this over here. I'm trying to get some Zerglings, trying to get this extra gateway, and trying to get more and more units. So things not looking good for us already as this fight now pressing out. So you can see Doc Nabs does have a decent amount. I'm throwing down a force field so that these Zealots are unable to try to run back and try to be microed. So these 2 sentries doing a great job, and now in come these Zealots. So Zealots now going after some of my units. I'm using this 1 spine crawler here to try to get me in a little bit of an additional of a fight. But now Marines coming over with an SCV as well, and this is a lot of Marines. 10 Marines now coming in with an extra Zealot continuing to join in on this fight. So these Marines really want to try to take down all of these pylons to try to make all of these warp gates stop. But I was really smart in trying to get additional warp gates all over the place. or additional pylons, and now pull off probes from the mineral line in order to make sure that they do not escape with the force field, and down goes this army over here. So all of these Marines simply getting torn apart by these probes, and this army of a sentry and a stalker able to hold this attack off just for now. So you can take a look. I am supply lock 27 over 26. Harvester wise, I'm not mining anything, but I do have the most amount of harvesters at this stage in the game. So I'm expecting a second wave. The second wave is going to be even stronger in just a moment, as we're probably going to see Marauders moving out. Marauders and Marines. Back over here, we do have a cannon rush though from Juntface. So Juntface now able to get in a pylon, was able to cannon, or just get, not cannon rush, but cannons in position to take down this hatchery. So Doc Nabs is 300 minerals over here, really not worth it. And if we do see some spine crawlers moved over, hopefully he will also drop a creep tumor onto this location. Otherwise, these spine crawlers are going to die very, very easily because there is no creep. Once again, we do see more zealots now trying to push in, and these zealots will be coming by over here to try to protect these photon cannons. Are we going to get a creep tumor? No. And Queen not getting a creep tumor. Broodlings come out now trying to peck away at that photon cannon. And now Queen moving in. We do have some stalkers trying to deal damage towards those zealots, and those cannons now taking their way and taking down those larvae as well. So these spine crawlers will need to move off or move around. Back over here, we do see warp gates, and now more Marines once again coming in with Marauders. I am going to be trying to deal damage with these stalkers. So stalkers continuing to do a lot of pressure. However, those Marauders do have that concussive shell, so back and forth. And really, as a player in 2v2, you really need to keep your calm. You really need to keep your cool and try to figure out what exactly you can do. And army-wise, income-wise, I am able to mine a little bit more than everyone else, but things are not looking good. I drop in a force field, and I should really trying to be moved into this position here. There are a couple of probes, but now I realize I have this warp gate research, so I'm going to start warping in zealots right here. So 3 zealots now warping into this position, and these zealots are going to be able to easily handle these Marauders as they are not being microed, and there is no stim pack. So 2 Marauders taken down by 3 zealots there, and I will have enough. They will be able to start recharging their shields in just a moment. I'm chrono boosting these warp gates in order to be able to warp in more units, and I realize that, yeah, I probably should be warping in units now, perhaps some sentries, as sentries would be very, very powerful in this game. So now stalkers now being warped in as well, and I'm trying to think, okay, what strategy can I possibly do? We only so far seen zealots and Marauders and Marines come in from Junt and Juntface. So I think to myself, okay, at some point in this game I should probably go for Stargate and Void Rays, trying to change up my tech a little bit in order to push out. Also, I do have a robotics facility, so I will be training up 1 observer and eventually an immortals to deal with these photon cannons here. I want to make sure I deal damage to this pylon, and I realize that those zealots should not be engaging on this, so warping in more stalkers. Stalkers going to focus down this pylon over here, as Doc Nabs now trying to take an extra expansion. Back over here, we also see Juntface taking this high yield mineral, a very, very gutsy maneuver, as this base is so far across the map. Over here, we do see what the 1 immortal now being trained should probably be chrono boosted, as I'm now sitting on 33 harvesters compared to 17, 19, and 17 for them. Still photon cannons in position, and really just deny any sort of expansion coming in for Doc Nabs. And really things are not looking good at this stage. Army wise, we are still behind, and we're taking a lot of pressure. Stalkers now able to move in. Stalkers with a range of 6 able to outrange that front pylon. Photon cannons have a range of 7, but because the photon cannon was so far in front, unable to really do anything here. Once again, warping in more stalkers and trying to get a stronger and stronger economy going. You do see that I am now sitting on 37 harvesters, able to mine from both of these positions, just trying to keep up with these probes, and also trying to get some additional gas as well. And I know that I'm going to have a very strong economy at this stage. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop down 2 Stargates, as these Stargates will allow me to start training some Void Rays and maybe even get a fleet beacon. That immortal and these stalkers able to finish off this expansion, or these cannons over here, so Doc Nabs can now get an expansion. Over here we do have some more zealots, and now just trying to macro up a larger army. 1725 versus John 1600, and now we see some siege tanks being trained, also upgrading to an orbital command. Over here, this is all happening. Juntface still operating off of 3 gates, just like me at this stage. I am now moving out, trying to perhaps take an extra expansion, As this, I asked my partner, making me work hard for this, ain't ya? And as this is just so far a pretty difficult fight for me. Army-wise, you see that Doc Nabs is sitting on 325 mineral army, and his harvester count is at 22. I'm sitting on a 45 harvester count, able to continue to mine and just trying to get up a stronger and stronger game. Over here, Juntface now able to mine out of these high yield mineral locations. Will be able to get a decent economy going as these return, I believe, 7 per trip instead of the standard 5. Back over here, I now am throwing down a fleet beacon as I'm training up some Void Rays. Void Rays very, very strong once they are fully charged. And I will be showing you a trick that I remember in this particular game as well. We do have concussive shell research, but we do not have the stim pack research coming through. So this is one of those games where I realized that even though we were behind and our partner or my opponent was trying to rush us very, very heavily with a really, really strong army, we are going to be able to cancel this out very well. I am trying to set up a nexus over here, and I should have left a zealot over here by this Zelnaga watchtower. We are going to see Marines now come in with these siege tanks, and also we have some Hydralisks and some Banelings over here. So Doc Nabs with those Banelings should be able to do a lot of damage against those Marines. Now coming in and getting a lot of splash damage, Marines getting taken down. Stalkers now coming in, trying to focus down some of these zealots over here, and there are more stalkers coming in over here as well. So trying to pick and choose my fights, trying to use better numbers for me as Marines now pushing through and able to take down this hatchery. So Stalkers now pulling back once again, and Immortal sitting over here trying to do a little bit of chasing. Marines now, however, able to just push through, and down goes my Immortal. I do, however, have 2 Void Rays, and I also got the level 1 weapon upgrade on my Prismatic Beam. If you did, a Void Ray has a very, very fast attack speed, even though it's a continuous charge. The Void Ray has an attack speed faster than a Marine. The attack speed is actually 0.6 as opposed to a Marine's 0.86. So that is what, almost 25? That's probably like 33% faster in terms of attack. And essentially fires twice in the time that it takes a Stalker to fire once, and once it's fully charged, that damage really racks up very quickly. So you can see these 4 Void Rays coming in now, continuing to try to chrono boost. I do have an Observer sitting right here, so I do see all of these units here. So I'm going to go ahead and charge my Prismatic Cores on my gateway over here, and as soon as they try to push through, I'm going to move in with these Void Rays, and these Void Rays with these Spine Crawlers able to just simply tear apart all of these units, and you're going to see how fast these siege tanks fall apart. So siege tanks, once the Marines are handled, I'm just going to tear apart those siege tanks, and now these Void Rays have just dominated the air, doing a great job. These Void Rays, what 6 kills, 7 kills, 2 kills, 3 kills, just plenty of damage. And now one Stalker over here quickly getting taken down once again, and Void Rays now just trying to do some scouting. You can see more Void Rays now being trained up, and I'm also getting the research the flux veins for those Void Rays so that they will be able to move much more quickly. Currently it has a movement speed of 2.25, the same speed as a Zealot that is not upgraded. And now we also see Juntface trying to go into a very, very heavy macro game. Now sitting now running off of 9 gateways. However, his economy not quite as strong, only with 35 harvesters. Back over here, we also only see 20 harvesters for Junt, so Junt really not mining all that much. And we do see some Void Rays, so these Void Rays now gonna go ahead and gather up over here. And now, once these Void Rays start attacking this Nexus and get a full charge, Void Rays are very, very difficult to stop. You can see the level 2 weapons upgrade nearing completion as well. Only needs 50 units at a time as these Void Rays now come in and quickly take down this Nexus. This Nexus is gonna go down very, very quickly. You can see how much damage that is. And now in come these Stalkers. Stalkers, however, getting right into position and getting destroyed by these fully charged Void Rays. Marines only a range of 5, walking and then getting focused down by these units. Now in come these Void Rays just rolling over this whole entire army. Stalkers trying to warp in, but quickly getting destroyed, only losing 1 Void Ray in this whole entire engagement so far. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay of this 2v2 random replay that I recently played. It was a gold level match, but I thought it would be interesting to cast anyways. Yeah, stay tuned.